Chosen ones, sit down. I mean that literally. If you are standing, sit down. If you are driving, pull over. If you are doing something else, stop it. Because what I am about to tell you today on May 3rd requires your full attention. Not half of it. Not the distracted, one eye on the phone, one ear on the video kind of attention. Your full, complete, undivided attention. Because today I am telling you everything. And I mean everything. The things that have been kept from you. The things that were too big for the people around you to explain. The things that religion made complicated when they were actually simple. The things that the enemy has been working overtime to make sure you never fully understood. Because the day you understand them, the day these truths go from your head into the deepest part of your spirit, everything changes. And today is that day, May 3rd, your day of knowing. Let me start by asking you something that might feel uncomfortable. Have you ever felt like you were living someone else's life? Like the version of your life that people around you see, the surface version, the performing version. The version that shows up and functions and manages is not really you. Like somewhere inside you there is a version of yourself that has never fully come out. A version that is bigger, deeper, more powerful, more purposeful than anything you have been allowed to express. Like you have been living at 10% of your actual capacity, not because you are lazy, not because you lack ambition, but because something has been sitting on you, pressing down on you, keeping you contained in a space that was always too small. If you know exactly what I am talking about, this video is for you. Because today I am going to explain exactly what that weight is, where it came from, why it has been there, and how May 3rd is the day you start to finally live at full capacity. The first thing I need to tell you today, the first thing you were never allowed to know, is the full truth about who you actually are. Not who your family said you were. Not who your past mistakes have tried to define you as. Not who your failures have labeled you. Not who the people who misunderstood you decided you were. Who you actually are, from the perspective of the one who made you. And the truth is this: you are not ordinary. I know you have heard that before. I know it can sound like something people say to make everyone feel special, but I am not saying that way. I am saying it specifically, precisely, about you. The you that has been through what you have been through. The you that has survived what you have survived. The you that is still here, still watching, still seeking, still trying to understand the weight you carry. That specific you is not ordinary. You were designed at a level that most people will never operate at, not because you are better than others, but because you were built for a specific function that requires a specific design. Like how a surgeon's hands are not better than a painter's hands, they are just built for a different purpose. You were built for a purpose that required this specific wiring, this specific depth, this specific sensitivity, this specific strength, this specific combination of everything you are. And until you accept that, really accept it, not just intellectually but in your bones, you will keep trying to fit yourself into spaces that were never made for you. Keep apologizing for the parts of you that do not fit the mold. Keep shrinking to match the expectations of people who were never meant to define your size. Today that stops. The second thing you were never allowed to know is the real reason your life has been so specifically targeted. Because it has been targeted, and you know it. Not in a paranoid way, in a factual way. The attacks on your life have been more specific, more persistent, more precisely aimed at your exact weaknesses than what most people experience. And there is a reason for that. The enemy is not random. He does not attack blindly. He is strategic. And the level of strategy he has deployed against your life is directly proportional to the threat your life represents to his agenda. Let me say that again. The intensity of the attack reveals the value of the target. High-value targets receive high-intensity attacks. And you, whether you have been able to see it or not, have been a high-value target from the moment you were born. Not because you did anything, but because of what God placed in you before you took your first breath. The calling, the gift, the anointing, the specific assignment that was written over your life before you existed. The enemy saw it, and he has been trying to neutralize it ever since. Through every painful thing that happened in your childhood, through every relationship that broke you, through every betrayal that shook your trust, through every season that tried to convince you that you were not who God said you were, all of it targeted, all of it strategic. All of it designed specifically to get you to the place where you gave up on the thing you were sent here to do. And the fact that you are still here, still watching, still believing, still fighting means every single attack has failed. Every single one. And that makes you one of the most dangerous spiritual forces the enemy has ever had to deal with. The third thing you were never allowed to know is the truth about your pain. All of it, every single layer. Because nobody ever told you the full story of what your pain was doing. They told you God works all things together. They told you everything happens for a reason. They told you the pain makes you stronger. And while all of those things are partially true, they never went deep enough. They never told you the specific work that each specific pain was doing in your life. So let me tell you today, the pain of rejection was teaching you to find your identity in something that cannot reject you. Every time a person rejected you, every time you were left out, passed over, dismissed, not chosen, something was being stripped away. A dependence on human approval that would have been your greatest weakness in the assignment ahead. Because the assignment God has for you requires you to speak things that not everyone will celebrate, to stand for things that not everyone will support, to walk a path that not everyone will understand, and a person who needs human approval to function cannot do that. They will shrink every time the approval is threatened. They will compromise every time the crowd disagrees. They will abandon the assignment every time the rejection feels like too much. So God allowed the rejection to do its work in you, to wean you off the need for everyone to understand, to build in you a rootedness in His approval that does not shake when human approval is withdrawn. The rejection was preparation, not punishment. The pain of betrayal was teaching you the difference between loyalty and familiarity, because before the betrayal you could not always tell them apart. You called people loyal who were simply familiar. You called relationships deep that were simply long. You trusted people not because they had earned trust, but because they were present. And the betrayal, as devastating as it was, taught you to discern, to see beyond surface, to ask deeper questions before giving deeper access, to value quality of connection over quantity of history. And that discernment, built through the pain of betrayal, is what is going to protect you in the relationships that are coming in the next season, the ones that are sent by God, the ones that are actually safe, the ones that will carry you rather than drain you. You could not fully recognize them before the betrayal taught you what they are not. The pain of loss was teaching you that nothing on earth is your source. Every loss, whether it was a person, a relationship, an opportunity, a dream, a season, was removing something that you had begun to depend on in the place of God. Not because the thing was bad, but because dependence on anything other than God creates a vulnerability that the enemy will always exploit. He knows what you are depending on, and he targets it to shake you, to destabilize you, to make you feel like if that thing goes, you go with it. But when God is your source, when he is the anchor, not the thing lost changes its nature. It still hurts, but it does not destroy, because what you are rooted in cannot be taken. And the losses in your life were slowly, painfully, lovingly moving your roots from things that can be taken to the one who cannot. The pain of waiting was teaching you the difference between what you want and what you are ready for. Because here is something nobody tells you: there is often a gap between the moment God decides to give you something and the moment he actually releases it. And that gap is not delay, it is development. It is the time he uses to grow you into the version of yourself that can actually receive what he has prepared. Because a blessing in the hands of someone unprepared becomes a burden. An open door for someone not yet ready leads them back to where they started. The waiting was not God withholding. It was God developing. And the you that comes out on the other side of the wait, the you that has been refined by patience and trust and faith, is the you that can actually carry what is coming. The fourth thing you were never allowed to know is what is actually happening in the spiritual realm around your life right now. Because there is a battle happening that you cannot see with your eyes. And most chosen ones have no idea what that battle actually looks like, who is involved, or what is at stake. So let me pull back the curtain. Right now, in this very season of your life, there are forces working on both sides. On one side, the enemy and everything he has deployed against your life. Assignments of confusion designed to keep you unclear about your purpose. Assignments of delay designed to make you give up right before the breakthrough. Assignments of comparison designed to make you feel like everyone else is ahead of you. Assignments of isolation designed to separate you from the people who could strengthen you. Assignments of shame designed to keep you silent about the gifts you carry. These are not random feelings. These are targeted strategies, real assignments, deployed specifically against your specific life. But on the other side, there is something else happening that is far more powerful. God is working, actively, right now, not someday. Now, He is arranging, positioning, preparing, moving. People are being placed in the path of your life that you have not met yet. Doors are being prepared that have not opened yet. Provisions are being set in place that have not arrived yet. Healing is being activated that has not manifested yet. And the battle that the enemy is fighting against your life is not because he is winning. It is because he is losing, and he knows it. The intensity of the attack in this season is evidence of the proximity of the breakthrough. He does not fight hardest when you are far from the promise. He fights hardest when you are closest to it. And right now in this season, you are closer than you have ever been. The fifth thing you were never allowed to know is the truth about your gifts. Because I think you have been looking at your gifts through the wrong lens. You have been seeing them as the things you are good at, the natural talents, the skills you developed, the things that come easily to you. And while those things matter, your gifts are so much deeper than that. Your gifts are the specific ways that God's nature expresses itself through you in the world. Let me explain. The gift of compassion is not just the ability to care. It is the specific way that God's heart for hurting people flows through you and reaches people that no one else can reach. The gift of discernment is not just the ability to read situations. It is the specific way that God's wisdom operates through your spirit to protect yourself and others from what cannot be seen with natural eyes. The gift of creativity is not just the ability to make things. It is the specific way that God's creativity, the same creativity that spoke the universe into existence, flows through you and produces things that did not exist before you made them. The gift of leadership is not just the ability to influence people. It is the specific way that God's vision flows through you to pull people forward towards something greater than where they currently are. Every gift you carry is a direct expression of an aspect of God's nature that the world needs to see. And when you use your gifts fully, unapologetically, without shrinking, you are not just doing something good. You are revealing something of God to a world that is desperately looking for Him. The sixth thing you were never allowed to know is why the relationships in your life have been so complicated. Because relationships for chosen ones are rarely simple. They are rarely the easy, straightforward, reciprocal connections that seem to come naturally to people around you. They have been messy, complicated, often painful, sometimes confusing, and you have wondered if something is wrong with you, if you are somehow attracting the wrong people, if you are the problem. But here is the truth. Relationships for chosen ones are complicated for a very specific reason. You carry something that draws two very different types of people. The first type are the ones who are drawn to your light, who are attracted to your depth, your compassion, your ability to see them fully, who genuinely want to connect with who you actually are. The second type are the ones who are drawn to your gifts, who want what you carry, your energy, your wisdom, your emotional availability without the reciprocity that real relationship requires. And because both types look the same on the surface, because both approach you with warmth and interest and connection, discerning between them has always been difficult. Until they reveal themselves through time and pressure, and the revealing when it comes always hurts. Because by the time you see clearly, you are already invested, already emotionally attached, already caring deeply about someone who was only ever interested in what you could give. And the cycle has repeated itself enough times that you started to wonder if deep, real, reciprocal connection was even possible for someone like you. It is. But it requires the discernment to wait for it. The courage to not settle for something surface just because the loneliness of waiting is so heavy. And the wisdom to recognize it when it finally arrives, because it will not look like what the wrong connections looked like. Will feel different, safer, less urgent, less consuming. Less like something you have to work constantly to maintain. More like something that simply fits, that breathes, that grows naturally without force or performance. Those connections exist, and they are coming. The seventh thing you were never allowed to know is what God actually thinks when He looks at you. Not the religious version. Not the version wrapped in conditions and requirements and not good enough yet. What he actually thinks. When he looks at you with full knowledge of every mistake you have made, every way you have fallen short, every doubt you have had, every time you pulled away from him, he does not see failure. He sees the one he chose. He sees the assignment he placed. He sees the gifts he gave. He sees the calling he wrote. He sees the plan he designed, and he sees it still intact, still active, still possible, not in spite of everything you have been through, because of it, because everything you went through added something to you that made you more equipped, more ready, more capable of fulfilling what he originally planned. Your mess did not disqualify you. It qualified you. Your failure did not disqualify you. It gave you the testimony that will reach people who cannot be reached by someone who has never failed. Your pain did not disqualify you. It gave you the compassion that can only come from someone who has actually felt it. And when God looks at you, all of it together, he does not see something broken. He sees something being completed, something being finished, something that is almost ready for the fullest expression of everything he always intended. The eighth thing you were never allowed to know is that this season right now is not a waiting room. It is a launching pad. There is a difference. A waiting room is passive. You sit, you wait, you do nothing until the door opens. A launching pad is active. It is the place where the final preparations happen, where the fuel is loaded, where the systems are checked, where everything is aligned for the moment of launch. And that is where you are, not waiting passively for something to happen to you, but in the final preparation for something that is about to be launched through you. And launches are fast. They do not ease into motion gently. They happen suddenly, with force, with momentum, with a speed that surprises everyone watching, including sometimes the one being launched. That is what is coming. Slow drift into a slightly better version of the life you have been living. A launch into something fundamentally different, fundamentally bigger, fundamentally more aligned with who you actually are and what you were actually sent here to do. Chosen ones, I want to close today with something I want you to carry far beyond this video. May 3rd is a marker. Today is the day you stopped not knowing. The day the curtain pulled back on the truth of who you are, why your life has been the way it has. Been what the enemy has been doing, what God has been doing, and what is coming. You cannot unknow what you now know. And knowing changes everything. Because a chosen one who knows who they are, who fully understands the assignment they carry, the gifts they hold, the purpose they were built for, is one of the most powerful forces that has ever walked this earth. Not powerful in an arrogant way. Powerful in a nothing you do to me can stop what God is doing through me kind of way. Powerful in I have been through enough to know that I survive everything that tries to finish me kind of way. Powerful in a I know who I am, and I am not going to shrink for anyone ever again kind of way. That power rooted in identity, anchored in purpose, fueled by the God who chose you, is what you walk out of this video with. Today, May 3rd, the day you finally knew everything you were never allowed to know. Now go live like it, go move like it, go speak like it, go love like it, go build like it, fight like it, because you are not ordinary. You never were, and the world is about to find out. If this video reached something in the deepest part of you today, share it right now with every chosen one you know. Someone needs to hear today exactly who they are and why they were made this way. Be the reason they find out. Comment below and tell me what is the one thing from today that you needed to hear most. I read every single comment. Everyone. If you are new here, welcome. You were always supposed to find this place. Stay chosen, stay knowing, stay launched. Because May 3rd is just the beginning of everything you were always meant to be.